Hey, what's good? It's Abram Gonzalez here from Digital Harvest. I'm going to shoot this video for you here today showing you how you can use Canva.com to create really great looking thumbnails for your YouTube videos. These can also be used on Facebook, they can be used on your blog and a bunch of other places, but the key to a really great YouTube video is that thumbnail that gets people to actually click on it. And so what I'm going to show you here is how to use Canva to do that, look at some of the dimensions that you can use, some of the best practices that I've followed just to make really simple, easy, eye-catching YouTube thumbnails, especially if you don't have the money or the time to hire a designer. I'm going to show you some examples of what we've already done for the company. I'll show you how you can duplicate existing thumbnails to make the production process easier, especially if you're doing a YouTube series. All those things and more here in this video. So let's jump into it right now. I'm logged into the canva.com dashboard, and the first thing you're going to want to do in order to create a YouTube thumbnail would actually be to go up here and click on the create a design. You can also look up here and you can search in, for example, YouTube, okay, and it'll show up and it'll show you that you can create some YouTube channel art or a YouTube thumbnail. Great thing about this is it's already sized perfectly for what YouTube actually wants. So let's click on that YouTube thumbnail, and it's going to go ahead and generate this empty canvas for us to actually go ahead and edit. So this is what we're going to work on to edit here, and then I'm going to show you over here in this tab one of the thumbnails that has already been created for this series that I've created on YouTube. Okay, so this is where we're headed with this design. I'm going to take you through a couple pointers and things that you can use to create thumbnails just like this, and pointers on things like alignment, font, colors, and the like. Okay, some things also that you might not realize that you can do in Canva that make it very easy to create something that looks really great. Okay, so really quick over here, one of the first things that I start with when I'm creating a new thumbnail is I will use some kind of background. Okay, so over here in the elements area, you're going to click on elements, and then you're going to want to search for an element that you like. Okay, so you can see here I recently created this thumbnail, and so I used this icon right here. But if you wanted to search for something like like a panda bear, let's search for panda, see what comes up, click search. We could actually take something like a panda, we could throw it there in the background, okay, and then we could resize it just by dragging the edges there to fill the whole thing, right? So we're not doing a panda here today, although pandas are cute. Let's go back here, and we're going to just kind of recreate exactly what we did in the example here, okay? So I'm going to take this photo, I'm going to drag from the corners to resize it, because if you drag from the corners, it'll resize it and keep the proportions, okay? And as you can see here, I'm just going to center that in the middle. I'm going to choose, which side I like more. I like having some of this brighter light up here in the top left. Okay, that's the first step to creating the thumbnails. We got this nice background image. Okay, so what did I do to create this effect, this sort of overlay effect on the back? You see how it kind of starts up here in the top left with some orange, and then it fades into a little bit of a light brown. Those are some of the company colors, which is why I chose that. But let's look at what we can actually do here. So next, let's look at, again, we'll look under elements, and we'll look under gradients. So as you can see here, there's a bunch of different things. I'll click on all, okay, and there's some various different gradients and things that we can use. This, I think, makes your YouTube thumbnail look interesting, right? So you can see here, this is a gradient. It starts with one color on the top left, goes to another color on the bottom right. This is the gradient that I used for the other thumbnail. So I'm going to put this here over the top. I'm going to drag it over, just like I did for the previous photo. And now I've got this covering. Okay, so now the question you probably have is, okay, so how do I get it to be a little bit see-through and transparent? Just like this example here. Well, let's go back over. What we're going to do is click on this. Up here, this is the transparency drop down, and we're going to bring this slider down to the desired position. Okay, so we do it right there. Looks good. And we can adjust that as we go through. We can just click on it and adjust it. Up here in the top left, you can see these are the individual colors that we can use for our gradient here. Again, I'm going to try my best to recreate this on the fly the way that I had it with the other example. So you can see our brand colors are already loaded in here. You can have default colors. You can also add colors here with this little plus sign, and you can choose different colors here. Okay, so get the ones that you want. I'm going to click over here on the secondary color, and I'm going to switch it to that brown that I was talking about. Okay, so you can see how that's actually changed the look and feel of this photo quite a lot. All right, let's go back over here. Let's see what else we're working with. Okay, at the top we have some text here. We have this little swatch that comes in from the left hand side where we put the words episode 5, got the company logo on the bottom right. So let's just grab those different elements here really quick. Okay, so I believe this was another gradient that I chose, this piece right here. Okay, and I just clicked it and then it dropped it over into the editing space. As you can see, it's flipped the opposite direction. I can use this little turntable over here and I can flip it all the way 180 degrees, what we're looking for. There we go. Let's see what it was over there. Yeah, looks about accurate. Okay, and again, did the same thing, just modified the colors using the brand colors that I've already loaded up. It's very easy. And that's the great thing about Canva, right, is you can load up your your brand colors, and it makes editing so much easier. Let's grab some text, create a heading up here. So what I can do is I can just, put here small business tips. Okay, I can take that and then I can drag it up here to the top. And up here in the top left, we can adjust the fonts and choose from literally hundreds of preloaded fonts that are here inside of Canva. One of the things that I would suggest is using a lot of the same fonts over and over in your designs to keep things looking congruent. You really only want about 1 or 2 different typefaces inside of any design. That way it looks tight. So if you look at this, we have one type of font here at the top, and the rest of them are all the identical fonts following. Okay, so then we would just put another heading in here and duplicate this one. So we'll do, pick up the dang phone. This was the example that we had from the previous. I'm going to take this, and as you can probably see in what I was doing earlier, I can actually click and change. I can use these icons here at the top to click the different colors that I want to pick. And also this is a little bit small, so I'm going to adjust the size over here. I'm also going to bring this in from the right hand. You see I can pick up and drag the right hand side of this box, and I can adjust where that text is actually sitting. And then, of course, there's other options up here you can play with. You can italicize things if you want. You can center it. You can left alignment. I typically like the ability to, as you can see when I'm clicking and holding on this little line picks up on the left-hand side. I'm able to align this text with the words above it. So as you can see on this example that we're aiming for here, the alignment's really good. So you can see you can almost draw a line on the left-hand side here and line up all the rest of the text. Okay, if you look across the middle here, we've got, because of this swatch coming in from the left-hand side, we've got nice alignment from left to right. If you look over here on the right-hand side, if you draw a line down from the end of the words here down to the logo, that lines up as well. Okay, so we're creating really, really good balance across the entire thumbnail, and you'll notice things feel a little bit off and you can't tell why. A lot of times that has to do with the alignment. Okay, so the last piece that we're going to do in here, and I know that the fonts aren't exact, okay, but you can play with fonts and figure out the stuff that you like yourself. The last piece that I really like here is when I'm doing a YouTube thumbnail, I want a part of the video to actually show through. So here it's just a screenshot of me making a funny face, basically, right? And I want to put that here into this canvas as well. So I'm just looking through. I'm in the gradient section, which is not really where I want to be. But perhaps, maybe that is. Perhaps, though, I want to look at grids. Okay, so grids give you the ability to mix and match. Actually, that's not where I want to be. Let's go back again. I think there's frames. This is what it is, frames. So the frame section gives you a lot of different options for the different types of frames that you can put your actual photos in. So, for example, you can see this one here that I've got selected on the left-hand side is the one that I used in that previous thumbnail. But let's look at something else that might just be, I don't know, a little bit interesting. We'll put this one over here, and we'll see what this. Actually, I don't really like that one. Let's get that out here. So the top right, I can actually delete. I can delete the frame that I just put in there, just like that. Okay, you can also use the delete key on your keyboard. I'll use this one. It's pretty similar to what I used before. And I'm going to put that there. I'm going to adjust the the font a little bit to give it some more space. I'm going to put this over the top. And by the way, if things are not where you want them to be, you can actually click this position button and you can move it backward, for example. Let's say I wanted to go back behind this, I keep calling it a swatch, but I don't know what it is really. Keep going backward. I'll go forward one. And now this is in front of it, see? So you may like something like that, you may not. I'm going to bring it forward again. That way it's behind. Now the last piece here that's really important is now I want to add the photo in here, and then I want to add the business logo to it. So if we go back here on the left hand side, you got the upload section. Okay, so I've already previously uploaded the thumbnail for this episode. I'm going to put that in there, drag and drop, and see, it's really cool. It just puts it in there the way that you want it. Right in that frame, it cuts everything else out. You can also crop it, so you can play with what parts you actually want. If I wanted just, just my face in here, for example, I could take that. I can move this around, click done, boom. Now it's the actual spot that, maybe I wanted to zoom in on something, I could put that in there. Okay. Last piece, of course, is, as I was mentioning here, the logo. So I've got all of the logos preloaded into the editor. All I have to do is click, and it drops it right in there. Okay. And then I can take the logo, resize it, move it around. Ta-da. We've got ourselves a thumbnail. Now you can see the difference between this that we just made on the fly and what has been done over here already, because the alignment on this one, you can see it's already off. This needs to be adjusted. We want to make this bigger, so that way it's got the alignment like I mentioned on the left hand side and the right hand side. But hopefully these tips have really helped you out in creating a YouTube thumbnail. There's a lot of options inside of Canva that make it easy to do. The last thing I'm going to do for this tutorial is actually show you, once you have a template in place, really how fast and how easy it can be to create a new thumbnail. Okay, so I'm here in the editor for what has already been used to create several episodes, thumbnails for this series that I've been creating and working on. So when I come in here, all I actually have to do is there's this nifty little copy page button on the top right. I'll click copy page, okay, and then all I have to do is make some adjustments. So we're working on episode 6 here. Really quick, I'm going to see what is the name of this. I got a spreadsheet going of the things that I'm working on right now. Thumbnail, I want it to say who do you hire first. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to change the verbiage out. Who do you hire first? Okay, and so let me see what I've done with some of these previous thumbnails. They got a lot more words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually play with this a little bit. I might make this a little bit bigger. Actually, let's see if I can change the font size maybe to 80. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I'm going to bring it up here so that way you can see as I'm making it bigger, you see how it's got the box around everything. Okay, Canva is great for that alignment piece. So I'm going to make this align with the bottom to the left. I got the font aligned with the episode 6 at the top, and then I got the bottom of this text now is aligned with the bottom of the actual frame that I added in here. Okay, see how I did that? All right, last piece again, I'm going to take the thumbnail, I'm going to replace what's already in there with this, and it looks like I could see a little bit of my logo on the bottom right peeking out over there. I'm going to crop this, and then, or maybe I'm just going to move it to the right a little bit. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, then I can move it down, click done, and now it's done. Right? So now I'm going to change what it's called, episode 6. Who do you hire first? And it's basically done. So what I can do now is it says unsaved changes here at the top right. I'm going to wait a second for it to actually save. Maybe when I click download, it'll say, okay, all changes saved. Now when I click download, I can click download. PNG is always going to be good for YouTube. It's one of the highest quality images you can do because I don't believe YouTube will take PDF. So we'll do PNG, and then what we'll do is we'll select pages. I only want page number 6, right? So I'll click that one, and then I can click download. Done. Now it works in that download, prepares the design, and voila. That is how you create a YouTube thumbnail using Canva. This is, of course, really basic stuff. I'm not a professional designer by any means, but Canva allows you to look a heck of a lot more professional with some of their frames. And so if you take some of the ideas I shared with you here, just popping together a nice background, putting a little gradient over the top makes the text pop and makes the background interesting. Then you throw a photo over there, make sure all the alignment's right with your fonts and all that, and you're gonna have a thumbnail that's a heck of a lot better than just a screenshot that you might have in your YouTube video or Facebook video, however it is that you use this. So thank you for watching my video. If you want to subscribe for more tips like this, we're always dropping new stuff, things that'll make your life easier as a small business owner. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and join us here on the YouTube channel for more future updates. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.